I suppose it was painful to be on the bench first and foremost the other night, but even more painful to watch what developed out on the pitch, was it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you want to be involved in playing, and to be left out was disappointing. But it's the manager's decision at the end of the day, and he makes decisions for the good of the team. But as you say, watching it from the outside, you want the boys to do well and get the 3 points, and it didn't go to plan. A few silly mistakes cost us easy goals really, and to lose 4-0 to anybody at home's really disappointing, and obviously all the boys were gutted after the game.
It was one of those nights where anything that could go wrong did go wrong, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I say, most of the goals were our own mistakes, preventable, and when that happens, it's gutting, because all the work you do on the training field just goes down the pan. So in that respect, it was definitely disappointing.
I suppose you've got to hope it was just a one-off, haven't you, in that respect?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we're going to the game at the weekend, and we need to get the 3 points and get out of the relegation zone, because it's not nice to be in there, and when you're in there, there's a lot of pressure on you. So we need to get a couple of results to get out of there and climb up the table.
Does that have a psychological impact when you look at the table and you see Forest back in the bottom three?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you look at it and Forest shouldn't be down there. So we need to start getting some results on board and getting the points and getting up the table. At the moment, people are talking about playoffs, but we've got to get out of that relegation zone, because it's not nice to be down there. And the longer you stay in there, the harder it gets, because every little mistake, gets criticised. And when you're making mistakes and you're in the top six, it's not so bad, but when you're in the bottom three and you're making mistakes, it gets highlighted even more. People
get nervy at this time of year, and especially with Forest struggling. So as one of the old heads in the dressing room, if not the oldest head, is there added onus on you really to provide a bit of a calming effect? Yeah, well, I think obviously I've been there with West Brom, got relegated from the Premier League, so and I know what it's like. I think you just got to try and stay confident and believe in the way you play, and maybe not listen to things from the outside and just keep everything indoors. But the main thing is to try and keep confident and keep believing, because there's some really good players here. It's not like there's bad players here. There's some really good players. We played ever so well against Portsmouth away. We were lucky to lose, and maybe not so well against Cardiff, but we had a great result against Ipswich, and we shouldn't have lost against Hull really. We played Hull off the park, so it's not like we're playing badly in most games. We're playing quite well, so we've got to believe in the way we play, and keep the confidence up. What about your form? Because I thought at Cardiff last Saturday was probably your best game yet in a Forest shirt. Yeah, I think I was sort of that. I thought I played quite well against Cardiff, so that was a bit gutted to miss out against Leeds. So, but as I say, it's up to the manager. I respect the manager. He's explained to me why he left me out with the game against Leeds, and it's my job to work hard and get back in the team. Obviously I want to play every game if I can. And I've got to try and keep playing like I did against Cardiff. Does it get any easier to accept being left out of the team the older you get? No, it's probably even worse really, because you can do a job or whatever, but you've got to understand that it's a squad game these days, and the managers makes decisions, and I like the way he sits you down and explains things to you, and explains why he's left you out, and I really respect that from him. What do you expect from Brighton? Started off like a train, then bottomed out a little bit, but looked like they're coming back up for air with a couple of wins and won away at Derby in midweek. Yeah, it's a funny league this year. The Championship, it's always been a tough league. Everyone says it's one of the hardest leagues in England, and it definitely is. I think they started really well. Obviously had a little dip and then they've come back again now, but they're a good team. We know a lot about them. Gus Poyet got on playing some good stuff, and it's going to be a hard game, so we need to be at our best to get anything from it. Well, the dust's settling on the Leeds game the other night, but I still suspect still feel there's a positive vibe about the place. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's up to me to try and generate it, I suppose, really. So, yeah, there is. I mean, we didn't play as bad as the scoreline suggests. That's the thing, and you've not got to lose touch of that. I mean, it is disappointing, when you get beat 4-0, it's disappointing. I couldn't tell you the last time I got beat 4-0 as a manager. I honestly couldn't tell you. It could be over 10 years. So that isn't like something that my team would normally do. But we've just made mistakes the other night. They've made genuine mistakes of players, and one mistake in a phase of play has led to another, and that's that's not going to happen. Sometimes, when you're in that final third and you're being pressed and you're under pressure, you know, you can set it back to somebody else, and someone else can pass the ball. And a couple of times we've ignored an easy pass, and then the second man, we've carried on trying to pass it in there, and we've put the next man under pressure, and then the next man under pressure, and so on and so forth, and then it's ended up in the back of our net. And we've got to just make sure that we eradicate those individual errors. Other than that, I've looked at the game again, I've looked at our passing stats, I've looked at the game inside out on Prozone, and strangely enough, you know, a lot of our stats were better than Leeds the other night, other than the most important one. So we've got to carry on with our beliefs with that. You know, some of our passing the other night, you know, there was over 100 passes more than Leeds in the game, and we played 70 minutes with 11 men, in the last 20 minutes or so without Andy Reid. So, you know, we just got to make sure we get that little bit of rub over green, and tighten up a little bit at the back. We know that, but there is a positive vibe about the place, and it's got to stay that way. Absolutely, it's got to stay that way. There's no point, you know, if I walk in through the door and I've got a long face on, that is, you know, yesterday was a day for me to have my long face where I can be quiet and, you know, no one can see me, and I can stay at home and have a look. And yeah, yesterday wasn't particularly a good day for me, but it won't be when we get beat. Whether we get beat 1-0, 2-0, 4-0, it won't be a good day. But this was always going to be a tough one. I knew that. I didn't get the job because everything was rosy, so I know that. I need all of our supporters to stick with it, stick with us, and help the boys and cheer the boys, and just make them feel good about themselves, because wherever we are this season, you know, they're a bit up and down, so they're not quite sure where they all are, and we just need to get that real solid feeling in the club that's from the chairman down to the tea lady, or whoever the tea lady is, if you know what I mean, and also from our supporters to the players. There's got to be a link between them, you know. So we'll be okay.
You mentioned the fans. 2,500 are going to Brighton on Saturday. I'm told that that's the biggest away following at the new Amex Stadium so far. That must mean a lot to you.
Well, it does mean a lot to me. I mean, you know, I knew that when I was joining this football club, what a great football club it is. And normally football clubs get judged by their fan base and past history. So I'm very lucky that we have both of them. And you know, they are great fans. I know the other night, you know, there's a few moans and groans when we come off and we're 2-0 down. I think that's just a natural thing these days. You know, I don't think that there's anything really in that. I think it just generally happens wherever you are. If your team's losing, you may as well expect to be getting booed off at half time. It's almost as if it's become a part of society, that. So, you know, there's no problem with that. We needed to do better for them anyway. We'd love to have come in the other night 2-0 up. You know, we had a couple of chances at 3-0, you know, if Ishmael Miller's header goes in. You never know what's going to happen in the game then. The week earlier at Ipswich, we sent them home very happy with a fantastic comeback. Concentrated, especially in possession. Because we've had a lot of the ball in these games. You know, we've dominated the ball in a lot of these games since I've been here. You know, that will be something I will look at, and our usage of it. So, you know, we need to make sure that we just tighten up and keep our concentration, and also have that bit of luck. Have that bit of luck, you know. We haven't had too much luck at the moment. We know we've got to earn our luck, so if that means we've got to work harder for that, so be it. But just that bit of luck, you know. We made a couple of individual errors the other night. A lot of time, I've seen a lot of games in the Championship where there's individual errors made and teams don't get burned. Unfortunately, the other night, a couple of their balls fell to good goal scorers, and they've got that in abundance, Leeds. Whilst they concede goals, they will score goals. But I know where our problems are and where they lie, and we've just got to make sure that I just don't succumb to any of them, and make sure that we can tighten it up one end and try and create a few more things the other end. What
do you expect from Brighton on Saturday? Made a great start, then trailed off a little bit, but they're on the up again, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they went 9 games without a win. It didn't really matter because they'd had such a great start. So we know it's going to be a tough game down there. They pass the ball very well. They're very confident at this moment in time. It's a fantastic stadium. It's great that they do have that Amex Stadium now, because there's a fantastic fan base down there. So we know it's going to be a tough game, but it's an opportunity for us. It's another game to come back from the other night.
And one or two players nursing a few bumps and bruises.
Yeah, we have, unfortunately, but that's what your squad's all about, and we've got to try and see where they are tomorrow, and then pick a team.